Howdy, it's Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And as many of you know, we have 4 clinics on our first 3 years in practice.
If you're ready to level up your business, find us at paththovictorychiro.com to get on the path to victory.
Getting a loan as a chiropractor is close to impossible. And we actually tried it. I'll be briefly here, but we went over 5 banks and different private lenders as well before we opened the practice. And we had the best business plan, and we had the 30% that they asked for of the thing that you're asking. So an example, if you're asking for 100 grand, they want you to have 30K on the bank for 90 days, not touching them at all. So whatever we were asking for, we had the amount on the bank, and still like that, they were saying no. And now I'm here on the Facebook group, and it says SBA came out with updated stats on chiropractors. If you're purchasing a practice, it's not like official, but if you're purchasing a practice, it means that they have to cash flow about 20% more than before. And if the practice is selling, it's because it's not cash flowing. So it's almost impossible to get an SBA loan to buy a clinic. Imagine to opening it. Why is this happening? So first, chiropractors are not paying their loans. So that's number one. Second, chiropractors are $250,000 on debt. Plus, most of the time, like you and I, they meet their spouse in chiropractic school. So now that 250 times 2 is 500,000. And how we mentioned, and a lot of chiropractors are not paying it because there's a lot of different industries or companies out there that are saying you don't have to pay it. Because at the end of the day, in 20, 10, 25 years, whatever it is, they'll forget it. Yeah. So you're making it harder for the chiropractors to get a loan. So that's number one there. It's super hard.
We're the number one profession to default on student loans. Chiropractic is the number one profession to default on their student loans.
Correct. So it is close to impossible to get a loan right now. What happened? You could get a private loan, but that most of the time, based on what I'm reading here, is going to be 15 to 20% interest rate. So just think about it. It's brutal, Brutal. But there's the part that every chiropractor wants to be the superhero. They want to be the head honcho, and they want to open their own clinic, while other chiropractors are offering good opportunities to associate, partner, or even take over the practice. But everyone wants to play the head honcho, and then 90 days into the clinic, they know, wait, I messed up. I got into this loan. I cannot pay the bills. And that's when all the chaos happens. And what do we do there? We buy those clinics that are not doing well. So right now, with the economy how it is, if your clinic is not doing well, just try to reach out to us and see if we can help you. That's what we're doing a lot. But as well, our business model is kind of different. So what we do is on our internship, we were living on the basement of our doctor, and he was on the couch one day, and I literally said, hey doc, what about, and I just pitch him Shark Tank. Like, what about if you put, I don't remember the number, suppose 150,000 down, get a percentage. We talk about the percentage, and not just that, but the biggest picture is, if this works with us, let's open more clinics to help more chiropractors. Why was I saying that? Because I know the feeling of being a student, and we got denied by over 5 banks, private lenders, on getting a loan. So it didn't feel good. I felt it was one of my lowest points of my life, and then if we were going over that, we were suffering like that. I imagine more chiropractors, more students, more chiropractors to be are going to feel like that, So I told the doc, like, what about if we open certain amount of clinics and we do the same thing with percentage? If it works with us, if it doesn't work with us, we just handshake, my apologies, and we keep going. And he's like, yes, let's do that. My goal is 300 clinics. And that's when we talk about the story of Gideon and all that. So it was like, perfect. What do we do? Handshake. Nowadays, we know each other pretty well. We probably want to do a handshake. We do it more legal. Obviously, we have all the paperwork and everything to keep it fair, win-win for every party. We handshake and we kept going. So what does that intake? Let's suppose I'll use you as an example, and you can jump in and help me in this. Emily is trying to partner. And Emily applies. She goes to paththovictorychiro.com, and she fills the questionnaire. If she wants to open, associate, whatever it is. I suppose she wants to open. What we do is, first, we need to know if it's a good fit. A lot of people want to apply, but a lot of people are not a good fit. And we don't want to end things on a bad note. So being a good fit is super important. How do we do that? We pay the person to come over here. Okay. Everything is covered. They stay on Airbnb. Everything is covered. They come to the clinic. We get to meet them. They get to see how a clinic runs. We get to go to dinner with them, meet them as a person, just spend the day. That way they could see everything that we do on the daily, because it's not just being in the clinic. It's when we're out of the clinic is when we're doing most of the work.
For sure.
So they can see that. Then they leave. We don't sign any contract there. We don't talk about anything unless they have questions. They leave. Then eventually we talk again. Hey, what do you think? What do you think about this, that? That's when we answer all the questions. Hey, what about this? What percentage is this? And that's when we talk about percentage. Okay. So everything, we don't have a concrete percentage right now. It depends like what you bring to the table as well,
Right.
your abilities. And if it's a couple, obviously the percentage is going to be lower from our end, higher from your end, because it's two, and you need to bring a good income to your house. So it depends as well what you bring. If you're like high energy, like super driven, it's going to be a small one. And that's what we try to do. We try to get people like high driven with a lot of energy that want to go out there and like help more communities.
Does that percentage change over time?
That percentage on the equity aspect changes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, on profit shares, most of the time it stays the same unless we need to change it. Everything is flexible. But on the equity aspect, it changes.
Right.
Okay. As you keep doing more, you get more equity.
Right.
All right. Another thing is we have a circle community where we have all the training there and all the blueprint. What we were doing is that doctor lives in our area for 90 days, but that's not sustainable. We could do it with a single person that doesn't have an established place, is not paying a mortgage. But let's suppose someone comes with a family already. They hop into the circle community and they learn all the system, and we just want to see them 1 week. They come for a week. They could learn the behind the scenes. That's the important part. They're learning what they're going to do in the clinic already on the circle community, but what they're going to do on the behind the scenes is what they're going to learn here. Basically like, hey, lower the music. Why do you lower the music? Because it's too crowded in here. That way it doesn't look more crowded. Simple things like that. How to be more of a leader. And after that, after the week, that person leaves. If they're committed already, okay, we pay them monthly for the 90 days while the training and they're doing the marketing.
Call it a stipend.
A stipend, correct. Yep. That way they could pay the bills and do their thing.
Yep.
Okay. That is all the way onto day one. Once we open the doors, okay, we're going to pour into the office. We're going to help you with the marketing. The goal is always to start with 60 patients or more. Okay. And that's what we work for. And it's basically what every clinic has done so far. So once you do that, you're going to profit. Let's suppose Emily opens a clinic. She only has 3 patients the first month. She didn't profit. I'm not going to let you just survive like that. I'm still going to give you a stipend for you to survive, because that's the good thing of being on a partner, is that I'm going to help you. It don't matter what. If I see you working hard, I'm going to help you for you to pay the bills. Okay. On the bad things, I'm going to be with you, and on the good moments as well. So once they open, we split the profit on depending the percentage that we agree to, and everything keeps going. Your equity keeps growing. When taxes come, I'll do the taxes for you, and our recommendation is always you should open an LLC, and you're doing business at Victoryspinalcare, but you have your LLC as an independent contract. That way, from one LLC, you get paid to the other, and from there, you get paid to yourself. And we help you with all that process. We have the bookkeeping and the tax strategies and all that.
Yep.
So a lot of people have asked that. I think that answers everything. If you guys have any more questions, just reach out. I think I gave basically all the information, but a lot of questions come up. If you have more questions, the website has this as well. pathtovictorychiro.com has a lot of information there, pretty valuable. Mm-hmm. If you still have questions, you can go to my Instagram, pathtovictorychiro, and on the link, I have a Calendly there. We can meet for 30 minutes. You can pick my brain on that aspect, and you can ask me more specific questions and see if we're a good fit to each other. But we are here to help chiropractors, students, as it's super hard to get a loan nowadays. If you're an established chiropractor and your office is not doing great, just reach out. If you want to partner, we still can partner. We do that a lot. We buy a lot of clinics, so just let us know.